y'all guys doing? This is KLA, Cloud the Wanderer, about to give it to you once again. And here on a Monday afternoon with my guest, Valerie Fetzer, if I'm pronouncing that right.
You got it.
Okay, all right, because I'm not so great with names. So, but I thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak with you. And you're an OCB Masters Bikini Pro, and you're an NFF Masters Bikini Pro also.
That's correct. Yep. And for both
Wow.
organizations. Yep.
Okay. What made you want to do bodybuilding and the natural organizations?
Oh, goodness. Okay. So this, I've always been like into fitness and but it was kind of sporadic, hit and miss and life happens as you grow up and move through life. But it was probably back in 2017 or 18 that I decided this would be something I wanted to focus on. And it was not, I don't know. It just wasn't something I had ever thought of before, but I joined a new gym and there were competitors there, and I'd been watching from afar, kind of, stalking in the corners, kind of seeing what they were doing. And it was so inspiring. It was so great to watch. But I was also looking for something just in my personal life. Everything I had done so far in my life had been career focused. I had all these goals and all these plans, and I'm by the way my brain works, I'm a planner. I just thrive with plans and goals, long-term goals. And I realized that I didn't have a goal. I've been working my job, my full-time job and career for quite some time. So I had reached the goals that I had worked towards. And I'm like, hey, a goal, like a personal level goal, that's kind of crazy. Like what's that? And I turned my focus towards bodybuilding. I figured that if it was a good planning, you could put all the steps into place, long-term goal, but not too far long-term. It was actually tangible, felt like you could get there. Um, yeah, it just kind of fell into place. And I thought, hey, I'll give this a shot. And I would have stepped on stage for the first time at 44 years old. And I thought, hey, if I can do this at 44, I'm doing okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, like I guess people, they can be influenced, by other people, especially like in the gym.
Hmm.
You working out, and you see, I'm not a bodybuilder like that, but but I have worked out. So, but just engaging with people that do enter the sport, it's I would say like a challenging adventure.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. And it just, yeah, really kind of puts all the pieces. I'm a rule follower by heart. So, having someone, set down rules and parameters for me to do it actually fits my personality really well. But there was also my grandmother. I mean, not that she wasn't a bodybuilder or anything like
Yeah.
that, but she lived to be about 92 years old, and I attribute so much of her like cognitive health and physical health and living as long as she did to being physically active. She swam as an adult. She swam and got into the pool every day. She was always
Mm,
moving. She wanted to walk, and I watched that sustain her, and I think
mm.
in a lot of capacities of her life. So I thought, you know what, she's a great example to follow, and it gets harder as you get older. So it was just a good time to really start focusing on something and
Yeah.
making it a daily habit and routine.
Okay. Wow. Like, how old is she still around, or your grandma?
She's not. No, she's
Oh,
been gone a
okay.
few years now, but I mean, she made it into her 90s.
Yeah,
So,
that's good. That's good. I mean, I have my father. He's about 82, and he can't really walk good. He's like currently in a rehab, and he's trying to like do like work on his walking and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah. But like with the OCB, like how did you know about the OCB? Was there somebody put you onto it, and or you just happened to stumble through it through the
I kind
internet?
of I kind of just stumbled on it. It was at a time when bodybuilding, I think in general, and from what I've heard, was just really taking off, and it was showing up on all the social media platforms, and just starting to research, what opportunities, what federations there were, where did I want to go, what was direction I wanted to head. and I stumbled across the OCB, and I'm in Cleveland, Ohio, and it just so happened that Cleveland was kicking off their very first OCB show that year. And so it kind of just it fell into place. I had something local. I didn't have to travel very far. I really was interested in that natural component. Again, I was really just starting off on this track. I wanted to know that those that I was standing next to, that we were kind of all on the same playing field, if you would.
Yeah, that's good. So, what made you want to do bikini?
For me, I think it's just it matches my physique and my
Yeah.
personality too. I kind of joke around. I mean, I'm 5'4.5". Like I give
Oh yeah.
myself that half an inch. I
Okay.
walk. I'm used to wearing heels.
Okay. Yeah, you look
But
great.
no,
You
I
look.
think I am older.
Yeah.
I'm not 20 years old anymore.
Yeah.
I have had some health issues, including breast cancer. So I've had some,
Yeah.
hormone changes in my life, and building muscle isn't as easy as maybe it once would have been, or could be for some. So I don't really have the muscle density that I think is necessary for those next levels.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I also just kind of I like the posing. I like this I don't know, the flow of it, of the show, of the posing that you do, the look of it. It fit me, and it was the best match for my physique.
Was posing really hard for you, or it wasn't?
Posing's not easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Posing is not
I
easy.
know. I know. I
I
just
had
asked
I
it.
had a I had a coach at one point. We dabbled for a hot second, like just like one check-in. When I say hot second, on some figure posing, I could
Yeah.
not hit it to save my life. Like that was
Mm.
so hard to do. Um, Definitely, it would take some work for me to get up to that level. But um, you know, posing takes practice. Posing takes time, and it's not just hard to find that perfect spot, because the perfect spot's not going to be the same for everybody, so it's
Yeah.
very physique dependent. But then being able to hold that pose for as long as those judges tell you to hold that pose under those lights, and just with the nerves going, it's not easy. It's not
Yeah.
easy. It takes
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah. Well, how was your first show?
My first show was awesome. It was great. So my first show, the Cleveland OCB show, that would have been in 2019. Um, I came in second place across the board. I entered all the divisions that I could.
That's good.
And I thought, I mean, I was really proud of myself. It was great. It was fun. Being local, I knew people in the audience, which just always adds an extra vibe to it. Meeting new people backstage, from the area as well. So I've made some long-standing relationships and friendships through these competitions as well.
Yeah. 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 I went to my first OCB show in last year. This was like on the Big Apple in around August. That's what the name of the show, Big Apple,
Okay.
the Big Apple competition. And I was there for the men's division when they competed, and the figure, the women's physique. I was on and off with the wellness. I was there, but then I left, and I didn't stay for the bikini part, but yeah, I mean, it was different because I went to the previous show, to that was the New York Pro, and the New York Pro, it was really big, and it had a lot of people that were bodybuilders. But I seen the difference, like in the OCB show, they had regular people, where the New York Pro, it was just bodybuilders. So it has some differences and stuff.
And even their format is a little bit different. They kind of just do a run through. So there's no,
Yeah,
break. You're not coming back in the evening. It's just get it done and just get through the
yeah,
format. And it's kind of nice, even though I know bikinis sometimes at the end, and um,
yeah,
but they get us in. Yeah. After that OCB show in Cleveland, I don't know, hitting second place was just so close. I
yeah,
just had to do it one more time. So later on that year, I did the OCB show in Pittsburgh, because from here, that's only about a 2-hour drive. So I did that, and that's where I got the pro card for my master's class.
Okay, congratulations. Yeah. Like so you have any plans for this year? Like what's like in terms of shows? Competing?
Yeah, it's been an interesting journey. After I did the Pittsburgh show, rolling into 2020, so that was all the COVID stuff, and I gave my first pro show shot during that year. In retrospect, probably not my wisest decision, but
Mm.
I gave it a shot, and I came in last, and it was a learning experience for sure. So I've been kind of back and forth, and my goal right now is to be more competitive on that pro stage.
Okay.
So for this year, that's the goal, is to get back, on the NFF pro stage, as well as the OCB pro stage, and see what I can do. It's been a challenging year. I just lost my coach. My coach just passed away a few weeks
Oh,
ago.
my
Which
condolences.
Yeah, it's been really hard and challenging. And I'll be honest, for a hot second, I thought about throwing up the heels in the bikini and calling it a day. But
Yeah.
I've got at least this year's worth of shows to honor him, and the 2.5 years, actually I've been off now for 2.5 years. To I owe that to him, to honor him and the work that we've done. 2.5 years. I hope there's some growth and some gains in there.
Yeah. Yeah. That like so could you tell me a little bit of the NFF?
Sure. Are you familiar with them at all?
I think I may have come across some athletes that were there, but could you refresh my memory just in case
Yeah,
I probably
sure.
forget?
So they're a small federation, and that's the challenge. That for me in Ohio, that is the one challenging piece.
Yeah.
Most of their shows, if not all of their shows, are based out of Texas.
Oh,
But
okay.
what I really liked about them from a bikini aspect is that, if you will, all muscles matter, right? So in comparison to the OCB. So the OCB, you do your pose, you show them your best side, because let's be honest, that's what all competitors are doing, right? You're posing
Yeah.
to your physique, you're posing at the angles and the ways that are going to best represent what you've built. On their stage, even for bikini, you're doing quarter turns. So you can't hide it, really, if you will. So you're doing the front pose, aside to the back, to the side, and back again. There's a little less of the bikini walking. So, the back walking back and front to the stage. You don't really see that in the NFF. It's more of a quarter turn type of situation, which I did actually enjoy. I enjoyed that format a lot.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that's my goal, is to maybe get back there and do another show with them and see how that goes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I hope it. Well, I mean, do you have is there pictures of you competing in the NFF? Um.
Let's see. So that picture is from my
Oh,
first pro show that was in New York, speaking of. So that was during COVID, hence
no.
the mask.
Okay.
Um, there are pictures on my site, on the Instagram
Yeah.
page.
Yeah.
Those,
You know
yeah, those
what?
are prior. It
Let's
would have been
take a little
a
trip.
teal bikini picture.
Yeah,
Uh,
let's take a little trip there. To yeah. So you mentioned your coach. Like, how did you meet him?
my
Like
coach.
when you yeah that passed away recently.
Yeah, he had he's a huge advocate for the, trying to watch your pictures and see if it would have been one of my more recent posts, if you will, because I haven't posted in a
Okay.
while.
Well, we could just look at your pictures a bit. Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, my coach was just a huge advocate for the natural circuit, if you will. All his clients are
Right.
natural. And I started with him about 2.5 years ago.
Okay.
And I met him. He's has a huge presence, if you will, on the social media platforms. So I had kind of
Right.
been watching from afar for a while. And
Yeah.
then I was in Massachusetts for a pro show in 2022. And at that show, it was great, actually. I was sitting in the hotel with my daughter, and all of a sudden, just posting these pictures, hey, getting ready to go, gonna get those ones there are the NFF
Oh,
pictures.
which
Yeah.
one? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, those
Okay.
are
This
the
is
spread with the NFF.
okay. Cool.
So it was an OCB show in Massachusetts. I was sitting in my hotel, posting away, that I'm getting ready for this show. And this guy that I've been watching from afar, who posts all the time, great advice, huge into sustainability of the sport. And uh, he shows up on my feed, wishing me luck because he had some girls, some ladies that were going to be competing and on the stage with me as well. So I was just fangirl at that point, So
Mm.
um, he happened to be backstage with his clients and was just so amazing and awesome backstage. Like he was such a huge positive presence, not just for his clients, but for everyone backstage. I mean,
Yeah.
he walked by me at one point. I introduced myself at one point, but he walked by another point, fist bumped me, wished me luck. And I just was in such awe to see such positivity and such wanting everyone to succeed. I mean, I was
Right.
going up against his clients on stage.
Mm.
I was the competition, if you will. But that didn't matter. It was really about having fun and being out there. And I just really appreciated that vibe. So when I was looking to make a coach change later on that year, he was one of the first ones to pop to my mind.
Mm. What was like? What was training under him like?
He is very methodical. He was very methodical with his ways, and was all about sustainability in the sport. So
Yeah.
how could and here I am. I'm going on 50 now. It's not I'm not a spring chicken, if you will. And so it's really important. My health, my physical health, my hormonal health, my mental
Right.
health is also important in this for long-term sustainability. And that was his big thing.
Mm.
And although I'm going to admit there were times I was a little impatient, so when you're losing, he does very long preps. And this was actually going to be my first show this year with him. We've
Right.
been working in the background, but we have been dropping weight, slowly and steadily, and sometimes so slow from what I'm used to with other coaches, for example. Um, I will admit to maybe not having all the patience in the world at times, going, oh, like you'd be like, oh, that's awesome, great job, a quarter pound or a half a pound loss this week. Like that's a great pace. And I'm like, it's only a quarter pound. um, but I realized also it was healthy. The goal was to not lose the muscle that and the gains that I have built. How can we do this long term? How can we do this with balance? How can we make it so that long term I can continue to do the sport without huge fluctuations up and down?
Yeah. 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 How far do you see yourself competing?
I don't know. That's a hard question. With losing him this year, like I said,
Yeah.
I almost hung up my heels and I wasn't really sure what my next step was going to be. So right now, all I know is my end game is honoring him this year. Go hitting the stage in our team gear, representing Team Lean and the team that that Coach John Yobst had, and really just getting out there and representing all the work we've done. Beyond that, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I still haven't been quite competitive enough where I would like to be personally on the
Yeah.
pro stage. So,
Yeah. What,
um,
who's your current one? Who's your current coach now?
my current coach. So
Yeah.
right now I'm actually working with I'm working with a gal from our team. So
Okay.
when a lot of us felt lost, I felt lost for a period of time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the news was surprising and unexpected. So there was, grief and loss. And I even at one point looked at my daughter and I'm like, I don't know what to eat today. I don't know what exercises to do at the gym. And it's not that I don't know. I've been doing this for several years now, but in that moment, I've had this person who's been guiding me for 2.5 years, telling me like exactly what macros I should be eating and exactly
Yeah.
what lifts to be doing and what quantity and how long those rest breaks should be. So then all of a sudden, in a blink of an eye, not have that guidance, I was lost. I felt lost.
Yeah.
Um, So a gal from our team has stepped up and she's offered to help me in this transition, and again still represent the team as we see this year through and get on the stage just like Coach John and I had planned.
Mm. Correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe you probably have to find like a new motivation for yourself other than other people. Like, because it's not an easy sport to do.
No,
Like,
it's not. I surely don't think, for all those reasons. I had a lot of friends who were like, "Hey, you've been doing this long enough. Just coach yourself." I'm like, "Oh
yeah,
no, I don't, I don't. I know people do with great success,
yeah,
but that
everybody
I don't
can't
think
be
I
a
could."
coach. Yeah, you do need some guidance. Because I mean, just I wouldn't want to be a bodybuilder, like because it's financial, and and it's and you go through those mood swings, and
It's
I
hard.
couldn't be.
It's
Yeah,
not
it's
easy.
hard. It is. Yeah, it's hard. I got enough hard things in my life, and just putting that there, I could. There's things that I probably could follow, like that encourage me to eat right and work out more and stuff like that, be more disciplined. But in terms of competing, nah, that ain't for me.
When I
Yeah,
very first started, just hanging out in the gym and just watching people from afar ahead, I was like, "Ah, this will be a great way to lose those last, those ever famous last 10 pounds."
yeah,
Who knew I'd fall in love with the process
yeah,
at that time? Yeah, the discipline. Again, like I mentioned, I'm a rule follower, I'm a planner, I'm goal driven. So personality wise, it fits me well, but it's not easy. It does make, social situations can be challenging, restaurants can be challenging.
yeah, yeah,
But like you said, mood swings.
yeah. Are you a vegan or anything like that? You just eat whatever that
I just I just eat whatever. Yeah, I'm most recently I've been following more of a keto format. Um, Again, just being older and hormonal changes and fluctuations, and it seems to be working well with my physique. I know it's not for everybody, but it
Yeah,
seems to work well. And quite honestly, the lower carb, lower sugar levels kind of help me with other health issues too. So, I just keep keeping on.
uh,
It works, and I just keep doing it because it
what
works.
what's your kids think about you competing and stuff?
So yeah, that picture there, they're all grown up now. My son's in
Okay.
college now, and
Oh
my
yeah.
daughter's in high school. So
Okay.
yeah, they're all, but I think they see the hard work that goes into it. They see the discipline. I think they're proud of me for what I do. When I mentioned, potentially hanging it up just recently, there was encouragement to keep going. So
Yeah.
I think they're proud of me.
Yeah. We got
Set
we
good
got a guest
examples. I
here.
get my daughter into the
Yeah,
gym with me, and we go to the gym together, and
yeah, that's good. That's good. That's good. Yeah, I mean, like, cause she's in high school, and I don't know. They probably have gym. They probably should. They should have gym class and stuff. You know.
sometimes, yeah, they cut a lot of that stuff out, it seems, but
Yeah, that's terrible.
yeah.
That ain't good. I mean, even when I was in high school, like they had basketball, and they had. I remember, like there were like a couple of schools I went to. They had volleyball. Yeah, yeah, and yeah,
She
yeah,
plays on the tennis team, so I think she gets out of some of the phys ed classes that they have to take. But I only think it's like they only have to take maybe a semester or two, like
yeah.
the whole time through high school. So it's not a whole lot. But she plays tennis, and that keeps her active. And like I said, she joins me at the gym and
That's
does some
cool.
does some of the things.
But were you athletic, or like before, like bodybuilding?
Not particularly. I mean, I never really played a sport or did anything like that, but I always liked movement and being active. So whether it was taking, like cardio classes or dance classes or um, just moving, being active.
Yeah, yeah,
I try every now and again. I would try running. Not my thing.
yeah.
I try, but it's not my favorite.
But don't you do cardio like when you like for like bodybuilding a bit?
I do when they tell me I have to.
Oh, you do like the treadmill?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't mind the treadmill. The elliptical machine I'll do. I don't mind doing sprints if that's what it calls for, but oh, if I have to do any like continual running and I just doesn't I'm just it's not
yeah,
fun. It's
yeah,
not fun for me. Some
yeah,
people are great at it. It's not my gig. I can do sprints, but
yeah. You gotta really
endurance
be.
running is not.
Yeah. I used to run, I had to like motivate myself. Like I would listen to music and play it and stuff, or I would watch, some cartoons and stuff like that, like Dragon Ball Z, and then to get me hyped up and stuff like that. I know I'm a little bit immature, but that's they kind of helped me to kind of do that. Like, yeah, and I would just work out and yeah,
Got to pass the time.
yeah, yeah. So tell me about you're a naturalist.
Yeah, I work for my career, my full-time gig, my job, if you will. I work for a local park system, and I manage one of the nature centers within the park system. So I started off as a naturalist, which, you know, for those who don't know what that is like an educator, an informal educator. So I'm not a school teacher in a classroom, but we're educators in out in nature. So we would, lead school field trips, hikes and walks, teach people about the things that are around them, the environments, the trees, the flowers. I mean, anything that would seasonally be happening in the area. And then we have an open center that is like free for people to come to. So we manage that building as well. So over my career, I've I've been a naturalist. I've been on the front line. Now I'm more in a manager position, so I kind of oversee those frontline naturalists. And we do some really great things, some really cool things to keep people connected to the world around them.
I'm
I
kind of
love it.
like picturing like the ranger, the park ranger. Is that
Yeah,
something like
same
that?
thing. Same
Oh,
thing.
okay.
So yeah, a
Okay.
ranger in the national park is equivalent to a naturalist in our world. Same thing.
Did you used to watch the Yogi Bear and Ranger Smith cartoon? The Yogi.
A little bit. But
Uh,
honestly, I didn't even know that being a naturalist or a ranger was even a job opportunity. I didn't
yeah.
even It wasn't something that I did as a kid. My parents and my family, we didn't go camping, we didn't hang out in parks, we didn't go to national parks. It really wasn't what we did.
Mm,
So I wasn't familiar at all with it until I, went to college and started taking some of these classes.
mm.
And even then, I don't even know that I really knew. So I kind of just fell into, finding this career and loving it. I mean, I love what I do. It makes the years go fast.
Yeah, and you've been working it for 20 something years. Wow, that's
Yeah,
incredible.
24. Yeah, 24
24
years this
years.
year.
Wow, that's cool. Wow. I remember somebody had told me this. It got to be a passion. Yeah,
You figure you spend the number of hours that you spend at a job.
yeah,
I mean, it's tremendous, right? So why not love? You might as well love it, right? Because
yeah. Of course.
it's a lot of hours.
Yeah, yeah. We could go through some pictures and get again. Yeah, you got some nice pictures. Yeah, we seen
Thanks.
this one. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I've always struggling. I mean, I think a lot of women do, but the lower half, right? The lower half is a tough spot. Those
yeah,
tie-ins, I don't know. That's like if you want to put one goal on my list, that is going to be it. I am going to figure out a way to make my body cooperate. Then maybe someday we'll get better views of those tie-ins. They're there somewhere. I know it.
yeah.
I just haven't
Wait,
quite got there yet. I've had some seasons, some off seasons where I put on a decent chunk of weight. So that also means taking it off, and that's the first place. It's the first place I gain, and it's the last place I drop it. So it's a challenge.
yeah. How you build the confidence to go on stage for the first time?
um, I don't know. I just did. I guess I would attribute that to the work that I do with the park systems, right? Like I have to get in front of people on a regular basis. I mean, as a kid, this I would have never thought this would be my work. I was the quiet one in the back of the classroom, just
Right.
looking down at the ground, like don't call on me. Nervous to get up and nervous to talk in front of groups. Speech classes in high school were like the worst. But it's what I do as my career now. I've been doing it for so long, and I get up in front of people and I just talk. So getting on stage now, I mean, it's a little nerve-wracking being in the heels and under the lights, but it was fun. And don't get me wrong, some of those shows I've been more nervous than others, and you can feel the shakes, and you're just hoping that you stay upright while on the stage, but the nerves don't get to me too much.
Yeah, that's cool. How long you been competing? I'm sorry, I missed it. Like
Yeah, no, my first show was in 2019.
2000.
I
Okay,
did,
not too long. Not too
yeah,
long. Yeah.
I did two shows in 2019. I did the one show in New York in 2020, and I did two shows in 2022. So I guess that was my point when I said that if I could go back and do it again, what would I have done differently? I was very fortunate, and I don't know, I'll say even maybe lucky, I don't know. It's my first show, my first two shows I did very well. And I'm grateful for that. But all the same, I really hadn't been actively building for that long. And we know, like, it takes time. Muscle
Yeah.
takes time to build, and I needed more time. I needed more time in the weight room.
Yeah.
And 2020 hit, and I think I was on the fence, but then just decided to just go for it. And hitting the pro stage was a different animal. And the lack of muscle that I had, the lack of gains that I had at that point became very obvious when you're standing against all these other pros who've been doing it for a long time,
Yeah.
and have amazing physiques. Um, so that's why, I had to go back to the drawing board. And if I could
Yeah.
do it in retrospect, I probably wouldn't have jumped so fast. I should have realized that what all goes into it and the time that really needs to be invested to be competitive. I
Yeah.
mean, you can hit the stage, but I'll be honest, I didn't enjoy coming in last place. So in retrospect, I wish I would have thought that through a little bit, spent a little more time in the weight room, a little more off season, but lesson learned. So then we took the time between the show in 2020 and the shows in 2022, and we've taken the time now since then to also to build again. I want to be able to be competitive. I want to be able to hold my own.
Yeah, that's cool. Do you have like people that you're inspired in the sport? That it I don't know,
Not
like
not necessarily anyone in particular, because
okay.
I fully recognize that this is a very individual sport. We all have our own individual genetics, our own individual physiques. Um, and I do envy folks in the sense of, and I look up to folks who, when I see their discipline and when I see their balance, especially the folks that have balance in their life. I think that's so important when it comes to this sport, finding your own personal balance between the off season and the season, and being able to enjoy all the things that are important to you, whatever those things are to each individual. And so it's those folks that I kind of watch with an eye, but there are a lot of folks who do that, and almost, too many. So I just kind of keep an eye out generically, if you will, and watch everyone and all the pages. And I try to learn as much as I can from everyone, but I also do my very, very best to not compare and to remember I am my own individual. And I could see a physique, for example, that I'm like, oh, I love that routine and I love her physique and that's what I want. I could want that all day long. That doesn't mean that that's what my physique is going to become, just because,
Yeah.
that's a person with their own genetic makeup and I've got my own. So I really just do the best that I can for me and try to just learn as much as I can from others and what works for them, but not anyone in particular.
Yeah, I mean, like to piggyback on what you were saying, you made it to last place. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think every athlete, whether it's bodybuilding or basketball, they fall short in something, and maybe that's to help you get motivated and stuff.
You learn
Yeah,
a lot. There's a
yeah,
lot, so much you can take away from it. Um, I mean, of course, there's a lot of emotions in the moment, but when you regroup and you make that new plan, it comes back even more spectacular.
yeah.
So it makes you stronger in a lot of ways.
outside of bodybuilding, like what do you like to do? Like I don't know, like hobbies or anything like that.
I'll be honest, it doesn't leave a whole lot of spare time in my world.
No?
So between, I work a full time job. I have a teenage daughter who's got her list of things, and she's not yet old enough to drive on her own. So that's me.
Yeah.
Um, and getting to the gym. Working for a park system also requires working weekends and the hours that other people are off typically. So I don't have a whole lot of spare time, but I do enjoy spending time with my daughter and getting out and finding new adventures for us. So
Yeah. How do you
it
keep
keeps
your
me busy.
yeah, how do you keep your mind stable? Like, because you got bodybuilding, you got the job, and you got to take it. Well, maybe your daughter. I mean, she's mature enough, but like, like
I still
when
gotta
do
be
you get?
mom.
Yeah, when do you get up? Like what? Like 5 o'clock or 4 or
Oh
something like that?
no, 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 no! I'm not a morning person by
Oh,
any means.
yeah,
Speaking of, like, those are the people I watch with um as I watch with envy, like the people that wake up at 5 a.m. and get to the gym. And I so wish I could do that. I've tried on occasion and it works for a really short time, and I love it. I love that feeling of just like getting in and getting it done and going about your day. But my desire to sleep is so much stronger.
yeah. Of
To sleep
course,
in.
of
I'm a
course.
night
Yeah,
owl. I'm a night owl, so I'm up late. So I'll
yeah,
be up a little bit later and checking off the things on the list. And yeah, I just do my best to try to keep it all in line and organized. And but again, that's my brain likes to work that way. So I just keep
yeah.
checking things off,
When
getting
you work
done.
when you work out, like how long do you like stay in the gym?
I mean, it depends on the session and the things that have been assigned to me to do. But I would say probably an hour and a half in the gym.
Okay. Uh,
Between, like, I don't know, I've got some doozies of leg days lately. they're
yeah.
they're doozies. They're keeping me there a little bit, but
A lot of
between
people don't.
the
Yeah.
cardio and the workout is keeping me there a while.
Yeah. I notice a lot of bodybuilders they don't like doing leg day. So yeah, that's tough. There's some
It's a
bodybuilders.
love hate
Yeah.
relationship.
Yeah. You,
It's
you,
so good. It's so empowering. Like, you feel I mean, you can move so much weight with your lower body. You feel strong, you feel great. But the mental load sometimes for me when it goes into, like, oh, leg day, oh, I got to push that much weight
yeah.
around, like. But honestly, once you start doing it, once you're in and you're focused. And sometimes the biggest battle is just that foot into the gym, that
You,
first step. Sometimes I even tell myself, like, I'm going to take it easy. I'm going to take it easy today. Maybe I won't do all the exercises in my plan. I'm just going to go in. Maybe I'll, you know, use a little bit of a lighter weight today. And sometimes that's all my brain needs to just get me there. Just get me in the door. And then once I'm there, I 9 times out of 10 do exactly the plan as written, as it should have been done. It was just getting there, almost talking myself into it.
is there a favorite workout that you had like to do?
See, it's going to sound funny, but I do like leg days.
Um,
Although I know they're hard. I mean, I do, because that feeling of feeling so accomplished, like you've walked out. You've got the wobbly legs. You've put yourself to work. You've done all the things.
yeah.
It feels like an accomplishment. It feels good.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
You,
again, it's sometimes hard to get going. But once
yeah,
you
I
get
can
done,
imagine.
it's
I
such a good
mean,
feeling.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I had a trainer before, and I remember he had us doing like lunges and squats to lunges. Like the right side will do like lunges, and then the middle part we do squats. Then the left side we do lunges. Then like we'll do it like 10 times. Those are yeah, that wasn't easy to do, and we had to do it with weights
Oof.
too. Yeah,
I
yeah,
will admit, lunges probably fall towards my least
yeah.
favorite.
There's times I do the lunges like with the weights on, and I'll try to do like the V shape lunges, but that's tough. I'm like, whoa, that's tough. Like wow.
I'd rather squat all day long compared to doing
Yeah,
lunges.
yeah,
Lunges and I, whoo.
yeah, yeah. Do you see yourself like being a judge? One day in OCB or NFF?
I actually think that I think it would be kind of fun to do. I think I would enjoy it. I think it'd be
Yeah,
fulfilling. I haven't really put my mind there yet. Uh, but something maybe. I mean, again, I'm not far from retirement.
yeah,
So something to fill the time, something to work towards. Um, I've even thought about going back to school and working on some of the nutrition and training aspects of education as something that maybe I could focus on, you know, post park life.
okay. Well, I thank you for, come and giving me the opportunity to talk with you and share. Do you have any words or something you want to share with the audience or anything?
The biggest thing I think that just comes to my mind is, I want to encourage everyone. There's a bodybuilding audience, but there's folks out there who want to get started and they don't know where to start. And I think I've done those types of things. Like I said at the very beginning, like I hadn't really considered bodybuilding, until I was
Yeah,
exposed to it. I was that cardio junkie for the longest time, and that's what I did, and I thought that was the best thing to do. And I just think, you know, whether it's bodybuilding or not bodybuilding, like formally, getting into the weight room and lifting heavy things, pushing heavy things around is so important to our bodies as we age. And you hit a certain age in life where if you're not using your muscles, if you're not using your skeleton in that way with some force, you start to lose bone density, especially women,
yeah,
especially. You lose muscle mass, you lose bone density, and you lose it at a pretty high percentage, like every year. And it's really hard. So to just start somewhere, to start lifting heavy things is so important for like our longevity and being able to move long term. And I've heard oh, I've had kids, oh, I can't, there's been
yeah, yeah.
a
That's
lot of
that's true.
reasons that people throw, like why this
Yeah,
maybe isn't something they can do, or they doubt themselves that they have the ability, or I'm not that strong because of XYZ. I mean, and I've had kids. My daughter was a C-section. I'm a breast cancer survivor. I'm a stage 3 breast cancer survivor. So I've had, chemo and radiation and multiple surgeries. It's Life throws things at you. So you do what you can do. And even if it is just, a little bit to start, it's a start. And I think for long-term health, standing upright longer, especially for women as we age, and you hear of fractures and osteoporosis and issues like that. All of this can combat that for just a healthier long-term lifestyle. You don't have to step on the stage to do
yeah.
that.
That's tough. I mean, you've been through a lot. Yeah. I don't mean to ask you a personal question. You ever had a husband, or I don't know?
Yeah, I was married for 23 years, and I'm actually just now going through a divorce. So
Oh.
it's another piece of life, right? That makes it a little bit an extra challenge. But yeah, yeah.
Outside of bodybuilding, like with your bodybuilding family, like do you have like relatives or friends that go to your show, or just you helping them work out or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes as far as going to the shows, it depends. If it's local, they'll go.
Yeah,
I have a brother who lives in Pittsburgh, so him and his family were at that Pittsburgh show. My mom and dad are local here to Ohio, so they drove out for that too. So my parents, my brother, and his family, they've been to shows. My husband, has been to shows. My kids, so that's fun. And yeah, I have a lot of folks who lean on me to say like, hey, what should I do for this workout? Or hey, do you want to go to the gym? Or like I said, my daughter goes to the gym with me, and just trying to set that example for my kids.
yeah. Well, thank you. I really appreciate you sharing.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, folks, they think that's a wrap. Tune in next time for another interview with somebody else. And yeah, I'd like to thank Valerie Fetzer for giving me the opportunity to speak with her. Yeah, like, share the video, and yeah, and see y'all later.
Thanks so much.
Right.